How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Lostlikemike. I am your host, Mike Gonzalez. Hanging out on this fine Saturday evening. Thank you for joining and for subscribing and liking and I don't know, whatever, sharing, doing all your things. I don't think it's good form to say every time, "Oh, I don't feel like doing an episode this week." I think that's kind of messed up. But it's weird. There's times of the day and times of the week where I look forward to this moment, or I can't wait to hang out and have these conversations with y'all, and then it seems like right before it's time to do it, I just feel, I don't know, reluctant, or it's just always weird to start. So I apologize for it seeming less than grateful to have this opportunity to have a conversation. Let's see, start off with a few updates. I am very excited. I should have brought the prop. My children's book is now available at Barnes & Noble online in hardback. The problem was Amazon and Ingram Spark could not do a children's book in hardback. They don't offer that for limited number of pages, right? For a standard size children's book, it's just not what they do. So I was trying to find one of those online publishing companies or how you say, printing places that would do it, print to order, and I I started around the same time as I started to try to online publish to print with Ingram Spark, which is a different one. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'm just saying that I had to jump through a lot of hoops because of tax IDs and all this weird stuff. So I was able to finally set it up. It went live, and then I bought a copy of it so that I could have a hardback version of my children's book. I'm very excited. I opened it today, and I don't know, there's something cool about having it in hardback. Not that paperbacks are cool too. It's just I don't know, something very gratifying with it, with the hardback version. So if you're so inclined, you can find it on barnesandnoble.com and then do a search for Messy Pinky Puppy Needs a Bath. When I started writing the next book, the outline was finished, but I'm about a third of the way through, and I'm pretty excited. This will probably push me over to start really working on it again, because I had not. It really, not that I wasn't motivated. I've just been dealing with a lot, So, but this kind of like reinvigorated me into wanting to get back to work with it. I'll probably reduce the price of the book when I come out with the next book. Just because market-wise, I've been trying to figure it out. I priced my paperback based on the current prices of other paperbacks, and my gut tells me it's a little high. So I'm leaning towards wanting to bring that down here in the near future. Anyway, that's just an update for those who care about that aspect of the things that I do. I should be completing something, hopefully, well, no later than the summer, but it takes a lot. Also interesting, the hats that you sort of find out that you may be or may not be wearing. I had somebody reaching out wanting for me to help them publish their book, and also, depending if I'm interested, also illustrate their book for them. Which I did everything out of as far as the publishing part of it, out of control, wanting to do the different aspects of it. But I certainly never imagined helping somebody else, through this process. So I'm actually pretty interested in doing that as well. I'm still producing the series for YouTube. But as far as how to come up with a book and all that, so we're definitely going to probably. I like the way I say that. Definitely, probably. I'm going to utilize a second book for that, but recently being approached by somebody I don't know, wanting to be under the Bright Heart Book Publishing umbrella is pretty cool to me, anyway. I was gonna look something up. I found out YouTube has this new thing that they're doing. So, YouTube has come out with what are you doing? Stop. It'd be weird. Where you type in, you have a new handle, like the way that they used to have customized URLs. You had to have like 100 subscribers in order to get this customized URL. If not, you were like youtube.com/ the alphabet XY double numbers and stuff, and then it would link you to your channel or to but if you had 100 subscribers, you could have like youtube.com/ Lostlikemike. Well, they're no longer doing that, according to what they sent out. It's going to be, everybody can have their own handle. But they said you had to apply for it. So I received mine. So I'll probably put it here once but it's at Lostlikemike. So it's YouTube. I was trying to type it in how it would be, but because knowing my luck, I'm going to say it wrong. But I typed it in right now and it seemed to work. YouTube. .com/ at Lostlikemike. Hold on. I'm going to try something because I feel stupid. All right. Well, might break my rule and actually edit some of this. There. No, that's what I did. I spelled it wrong. So anyway, the handle is at Lostlikemike. And it should take you right to the channel. Yeah. Stupid. So youtube.com/at Lostlikemike. And that's my URL handle. So I started a playlist with all the podcasts. So I had a question, and I would love for you all to maybe comment below if you're on YouTube. I use a standard thumbnail that I just, kind of toy around with. Just it has the profile picture of me and then the title, Lostlikemike podcast, and then the episode number. Weird. One time I did not put the thumbnail on there, and that one got a whole bunch of views. So my question is whether or not listeners, if you think that that's a waste of time to have different thumbnails every time, or because if you've ever made a YouTube video, you go on there and you make your video, and when you upload it, it'll say, do you want to add a thumbnail or use one of these stills that we took from your video? And I don't know how they pull the stills, if there's some kind of algorithm or something where it looks for like certain motions, but it's never flattering, ever. So I'm always like, nah, I'll pass. I'll just use my thing. But I'm wondering if I'm doing more harm than good by not changing it every episode, like, so that people know it's a different one. Not that like the different numbers don't clue them in, but whatever. So I forgot to mention, this is episode 16. Very, I can't even believe it's been 16 weeks of actual episodes being posted. That's pretty cool. Sometimes I think I overreact to things. Like I have a bit of hate in me, and there's some people that I know that would be in complete agreement with me saying that right now. Like, you think? Yes, I do. I'll give you an example. Today I was driving to one of my performances, which, if you don't, I every now and then have to reiterate that I do sing. I'm a musician and I perform as part of a day job where I perform with a cover band acoustic group that plays several times a week. I've realized that sometimes I take for granted that you people know what I do on a normal day-to-day basis. I apologize. So I was on my way to one of these shows, and I park at this parking garage. And again, you can tell on my voice, I barely have a voice. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm still nursing that sickness. Okay. So I get to the parking garage, and it's a two-way street, right? One lane coming towards you, going away. And everybody wants to go to this stupid parking garage, right? So there's a fundamental social contract that we have in this country where If you're going into the parking garage, if you're closer to the parking garage, God, I should have drawn this out like some kind of map for you people, because I'm realizing very quickly that my descriptive powers are very weak at this time of night. Okay. I'm going to the parking garage, and I am in a park position with my left blinker on, and I'm gonna have to cross over the lane coming the opposite direction, right. And there's cars sticking out of the parking garage. Lord help me, I hope you're following. So there's cars coming out of the parking garage, and I am next. I am parked. I am at a standstill in my lane. Nobody ahead of me. Nobody behind me. Just me wanting to take a turn into the parking garage, and there's a car sticking out, right? And as I was approaching the entrance to the parking garage, there was two cars doing the same thing I'm doing, but facing the opposite direction with their blinker on, getting ready to go in. But my understanding of the social contract is that they were there first. So I'm going to sit my happy butt and wait for the two cars to go out of the street into the parking garage. And then when I have an opportunity, I'll go right behind them into the parking garage. So one car goes into the parking garage and gets to join the line because they're not blocking traffic. Here comes the second one. They go. Now, I'm in my position. It's my turn now. Okay? Light changes. Cars start coming from across the street. I mean, just driving by. And my thought is somebody's going to want to go to this parking garage that I'm about to go to. And even though my blinker's on, and even though I've been a good boy and waited my turn, they're going to just assume that it's their turn, right? So stupid. So anyway, long story short, of course, somebody pulls up and starts to pull into the parking garage where there's somebody already sticking, the car's still sticking out, and I was just waiting for them to scoot up one so I could go in. And so I tap my horn, boop, and I make a hand gesture like I'm next. And the guy goes a little crazy, whatever, like makes these gestures like, well, go then, or something. And I was like, but, okay, my reaction is not what the problem is. It's that I had the reaction before it happened, as if knowing it was going to happen. Like this, they're going to do it. I know they're going to come up here and they're going to turn on the blinker and they're going to just shove their way in, and I'm going to be sitting here saying, it's my turn. And you know what I mean? Which is not healthy. God, that was really convoluted. I hope it made sense. I apologize if it didn't. If you're just listening in some sort of, Spotify or something like that, I apologize for that hectic story. If you have to pause it, rewind it, and take notes, then it's not worth it. Just know that I got angry about pulling into a parking garage. Okay, I'll tell you another one. Recently, I've had problems, and I'm going to say the names of the stores because it really doesn't matter, but it's kind of like your Walgreens or your CVS's, right? And it has more to do with customer service than it does policy, okay? Because I've kind of been involved in customer service all my life, right? Too many years of working in retail and in entertainment. When things happen, it's sort of, it's, it sticks out like a sore thumb to me because I've put up with extreme versions of that all my life. And so I know that when somebody is being unreasonable, or that's what it is. And I know when somebody wants something a certain way, if I can accommodate them, why not? You know, right? So I think I can tell the difference. Anyway, so I was at one of those types of stores that has one of the rewards programs, right? And so it used to be that you would go and it would have one price on the thing and then one price if you were on this reward program, which I think is really messed up. It's like those gas stations, if you've ever seen, where it advertises a gas price. Oh, cool. So you pull in and then it says, nah, just kidding. That's if you have our gas card. If not, then it's like everybody else, right? But you've already committed, you already parked, you know what I mean? It just seems disingenuous to me, right? Give a good price or don't. Stop playing games. So, anyway, I am not a member of the reward program, but my wife is. So I would type in her number to get that cheaper price, right? So, first of all, I get up to the front, and this younger girl is there, and she's helping this guy out. And the guy's like, he has some issue with something similar, right? And she goes, like, I've already charged you, so I can't uncharge you, something like that, right? And the guy had his card in the thing, and he's like, he takes the card out, says, yeah, you haven't charged. I have to type in my code, like, you haven't charged me yet. But I remember at that moment thinking, oh, she's like that, lazy, doesn't want to follow she doesn't want to do it. So she doesn't want to go above and beyond or do anything outside of the parameters of her obligations, right, within the job. So it bugs me a little bit. But I go up and I say, all right, I got whatever. I don't even remember what I was buying. But I set it down. I said, there you go. This is what I want. And she calls out a total, and I said, aren't these on special, whatever, such and such price? And she starts grabbing these barcode coupon things off of her table and stuff, and she's looking for this, and I'm kind of like, I don't know what. So a manager's standing over here stalking or something, and I was like, what seems to be the problem? I'm like, nothing, I'm just getting the coupon price. Oh, no, actually now you have to take your online application, on your phone app, and print something. What are you talking about? And, well, recently we've changed. And she goes to this whole spiel about how they have the advertised price there. It still has the same look of everything that it used to have, but doesn't work the same as it used to. That wasn't even the main story, but the point of it is that I said, you know what? I gotta get going. Just charge me the full price. I'm out. And I got in the car and said what my dad used to say all the time: I'm never going back there. I didn't say that, but I kind of did, but not really. But my dad used to say that all the time when they used to make him mad somewhere. Anyway, but that was sort of just like a prequel. It was just sort of setting up the reason why I've kind of been not feeling this type of store, right? But I usually carry this big giant 1-gallon jug of water to sing with at my shows, because you have to keep yourself, especially when you're not doing too good, right? With the throat there, that you keep yourself hydrated. So they bumped up our show, and so I had to stop and pick up a gallon of water to drink while I sang, okay? And so while I was there, I decided to get a bottled soda drink, right? Because I wasn't ready for the show. I was trying to get peppy, just have a little bit of caffeine, something like that. Okay, so I take my gallon of water and my bottle of soda. And first of all, this is the downtown store that I'm at. And let me just tell you, the downtown of the city that I'm at, right, is like every other downtown. It's much like wherever downtown you're listening to this from. It's just, the streets smell like pee a lot of times, and homeless funk. And God bless. We could talk about homeless people a little bit later on. Probably we can get into all that kind of, I don't want to get all preachy about it. So, but it is what it is. I'm not going to say it's not. It is what it is. And my downtown's not different than your downtown. It just smells like pee, and there's homeless people, right? So, but this particular store, right? It's one of these Walgreens, CVS types. I walk in, and it's like a wall of body odor. I get hit. And homeless funk and whatnot. And so I'm already just like, I don't mean to be prissy about it, like I need some hand sanitizer or something. It's just, I get my bottle of water, I get my soda, and I'm standing in line, just surrounded by butt smell. And the lady calls me over to her, right? Like, hey, how you doing? And I hold the bottles with the barcodes facing out. And I said, there you go. Can you beat me with your laser gun that checks prices, right? Because, it's not my first rodeo. I've seen what people are capable of at a cashier station, right? And she says, please set those down here. And I said, no, what the problem is that I prefer that you didn't. And she says, yeah, you don't want me to handle the tops of the bottles. And I said, right. So here you go. Please. And then she's like, she grabs it out of my hand and she says, well, I'm only grabbing the parts that you're not going to put on your mouth. Meanwhile, she's feeling the whole thing up, right? And she says, so it doesn't matter. And I said, it matters to me. Like seriously? All right. I bought the items and I go to my show and I see my cousin Vince and I tell him the story. Thinking, well, certainly he's going to be as offended as I was. And he wasn't. But he has that smile on his face that he gives me all the time, that says, typical you, saying about me. Like, oh, well, of course, you're completely upset about this. And of course, the lady, that you're all going ballistic about this, So I said, what? And here's the thing. It would have taken zero effort on her part. Matter of fact, it would have been less work for the lady just to take her stupid laser gun and shoot the barcodes and it would have meant the world to me. So why, for any other reason than to exercise her power over the situation by manhandling my juice? Okay? I know it's ridiculous, okay? I don't. But anyway, I went over to the bartender and I said, bartender, let me tell you a story. And I told him the story. And he's like, that, he was on my side. So I tipped him. No. But he got it. And I said, look, I've worked in restaurants all my life. I've seen it where you can have a dish that's prepared. It takes 15 minutes to prepare. And you can walk it out. And the customer doesn't like the way that you're holding the plate or the way that you present it, that you touch the top of the plate or what have you. Or maybe, for whatever reason, right? I've seen these where accommodating them and making them feel better, the customer. And it's not customer's always right necessarily. It's more like when you can accommodate, why not? What are you trying to prove? I just didn't get it. It's upsetting. So again, that hate somewhere in there, right? If it's negativity, I don't like it, right? And I should try to exercise myself of it, And I don't know where it comes from, but the reality of the situation is that it's there. I get upset when the customer service is not on point. Like at the bar where I play all the time. Usually the bartenders are pretty cool about making me my drinks or what have you, right? They're kind about it. And if I have money, like, look, I don't know. I mean, if I have cash, I'll throw a couple dollars in the tip jar, right? But a lot of times, I don't carry cash with me or whatever. There's this one particular bartender, this guy, and you just, some people put off like bad energy, right? Or you could just tell if they don't like you. I remember I was working, well, I'm not going to jump subjects yet. The bottom line with this guy was that he stood there making his drinks because he had drink ticket orders. And I'm cool. I'm just sitting there on my phone, letting him catch up, right? I mean, I'm on stage, but I want to drink. So it's cool. Do your thing, man. But I'm waiting for you to catch up. And then I'm assuming that you're going to say, okay, thanks. Thanks for letting me do that. How can I help you? Something like that. But this fool does all of his tickets, turns around and starts playing with napkins. And I say, hey, could I get a round of drinks, please? Oh, okay. And just so, like I said, there's just an energy. I got to shake it. We have to find a way. I'm going to burn some sage or something. We're going to figure this out. I don't like it. I don't like feeling like that. I know that Vince would say, well, I don't know, but most would say that I'm manifesting these things or making them into more than what they are. But anyway, I don't know why. Maybe y'all can comment and let me know what the deal is with that. I saw my friend at my show today. It's a good day. I had my breakfast with my family, all the ones that could go, everybody that could go. But obviously my mom was there and my kiddo Um, so that was cool. And then got to my show on time. And then towards the end of the show, my buddy and his family showed up. I thought I was imagining it because I have bad eyes anyway. And I see from a distance, I was like, hey. But then, like, during the break, I come over and we hang out. Oh, it was nice. I'm telling you, these connections, these moments, you need to fill your life with them. When you don't have them, they're not to be taken for granted, because that it's really like, sometimes I feel like I'm doing better days than others, but when I'm doing the best, it's when I've maintaining these connections with family and friends, and you don't feel so, I keep calling it tethered, but it's this sensation of feeling like you're floating away, or floating, not connected to anything. All right. Well, it's a big deal to me too. These recently, it's really mattering more than ever. So anyway, at work, I work in these cubicles, right? And I overheard the guy behind me talking about that his wife had made dinner the night before, and he was going to have some leftovers. And it was going to be some arroz con pollo, right? And there I am working, right? And then all of a sudden, he goes and heats up his stuff, and he comes to eat it at his cubicle. Listen, do what you got to do, man. A lot of the employees that I work with eat their lunch. I don't know how you could do it, but good for you. So many of them do it. It's like they're all used to it. I don't like hearing people eat. I don't like smelling their food. I don't like any of it. Oh, what is this? The running theme of the show. I guess I've got a problem. I have a bit of a hating problem. I can't deny it. I can't pretend like it doesn't exist. I've got to get over myself and let it go. This is a breakthrough, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to tell you. Look, I don't give anybody a hard time about it. I don't tell anybody negative things about it. I don't even give them resting bitch face. I don't even let on that I have a problem. So give me some credit with that regard. But it does, okay? But on this particular day, the smell was so good. It was authentic. It took me back, right? Like the smell was like wonderful. So right away I text my wife, can you please buy the following items? Tonight I'm making arroz con pollo, and it's going to be good. She said, have you ever made it before? I said, no. Do you know what you're doing? No. But I need you to buy the following. And I sent her the shopping list, and I started YouTubing and searching online. I was determined. And several of the girls that I work with are fantastic. And they were filling me up with tips and tricks to make the best arroz con pollo. And I was so excited. you know, I get the fundamentals of cooking, right? I watched a lot of Gordon Ramsay shows, you know. I've cooked a little bit, professionally as far as uh, um, for different places that I worked in the past. So I'm not a complete noob, but never authentic, cuisine, right? Just a little bit on the grill or fryers or whatever. A little bit off of recipes that, that don't take a lot of, uh, somebody else is doing the prep work. All right. So I get the stuff. I get home. I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I've watched, there's, did you know, there's Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican, all these different types of arroz con pollo. Did you know that? I didn't. I mean, one says to fry the chicken, one says to boil the chicken, brine the chicken. I mean, another running theme of the show is that we discover that at one point in history there was not enough information. Things that you learned were passed down generationally, and you knew what you knew. And if you didn't have the Britannica encyclopedia, then you just didn't know it. And now we live in a world with uh, more than enough information, where it's to the point of disinformation, to the point of too much information. So, but the ladies at my work had told me some of the fundamentals, so I tried to steer within the framework of what they said. Okay, but I seem to remember boiling the chicken and it being very loosey goosey. You could pull it apart, right? So my wife gets home. I have the stuff. So she says, "Tell me in general what we're doing here." So I said, "All right, well, I'm gonna boil the chicken." She said, "I don't like boiled chicken." I said, "Forget it. Let's sort of take out. Like I don't wanna. I'm not doing this because the other, you know, the last time I wanted to sit down and cook, she said I made it too spicy, and that she said it would have been good if it just was. I couldn't enjoy it. It was so spicy, right? So I'm always thinking that I'm gonna mess it up, right? But that was like it was a spicy dish. So I'm not gonna even play. But this was gonna be good. So I said, just gotta trust me. This is gonna be real deal, authentic. I'm gonna earn my last name, my badge back. You know, I can't speak fluent Spanish, but I'm gonna make the heck out of this meal, right? So um I put on the YouTube the first one, and the lady says, "All right, what you're gonna do is put the pan, put some oil, and you're gonna start uh, lightly frying your chicken." I know there's people in the audience right now saying, "You're crazy. What are you doing? It should be boiling." I don't know. I just at that moment when my wife was giving me a hard time, I thought, like, I'm gonna follow this YouTube to the letter. I'm just gonna do what they say. So she's over here like 6 feet away, like with those wee bitty judging eyes. No, I'm just playing. Look, she was just trying to figure out what's going on. I put the chicken down, and then what they call a chispiat, or like a grease, flies out like missiles from the pan and attacks her, and it hits her arm. And somehow I did it, like it was my um, intentional, go away from the kitchen plan to shoot her with flying grease. But so and it really did. It welted up. It was this big grease splotch on her arm, like that just burned her. I felt so bad. I said, "That's what you get." I didn't say that, but so long story short, I took the chicken off of the fryer, and I decided I got off of that one, and then I went to another YouTube where the lady looked like she'd be related to me. I said, well, I'm gonna watch that one because it just seems more legit. And I made that. I made it. I was gonna show video or a picture, but I was so discombobulated that night that I just was like, and the verdict was that it was good, right? But if I'm being honest with you, it just wasn't legit. I missed something. So, because I didn't even have to look at this fool's plate, and I knew that it was good. Because the smell was just on point. But I'm gonna give it another shot here in the next couple weeks. I'll keep you posted. But man, got in my own head about it. But it's all good. You know, speaking of eating lunch in the car, I was talking about that earlier. I think I've told stories about me eating in the car, and I always park in generally the same spot, right? Well, I mean, recently I've been parking in the same spot, and this lady, I guess, goes to lunch at the same time I do, and she sleeps in her car during a lunch break, and leaves her car running. I mean, exhaust is pumping into the air like crazy. And then the other day, and I don't know, I get weird about knowing that somebody can see me eating, even though it goes back to what I said about me not liking to watch other people or hear it or smell it or whatever. But I took like a certain comfort out of knowing that somebody else was in the vicinity. Like this guy was in his car on this other day, and I'm eating my lunch, and I happen to glance over, and he's watching his phone and hanging out with himself on break, and I enjoy that, knowing that people are there. I mean, but would I want to have lunch with somebody? That's a big no. Is that weird? I don't know what my problem is. And it's less about them, it's more about, me trying to eat or whatever. Ugh, gross. Hater, right? Chief. Tired of being a hater. So gross. But even in my notes it says hater ? I just you know what, if so many people, that's why it's called Lostlikemike. I'm just telling you, how I'm really feeling. Some of you out there feel the same way. And it's okay. It's no big deal. Doesn't mean you're a hater. Just means that you feel a particular way about listening to people eat. Listening to them. I don't even like, never mind. We're not going to talk about it. So we're in the kind of approaching November. It's about to be voting time. We're going to leave our politics out of this, but I will say that I am going to vote. It may, you hear all the arguments that whether you're red or blue or Democrat or Republican, it's all, big pharma, lobbyists and whatever running the government, and everything's all sleight of hand and shady and whatever. I will admit that I hate mudslinging advertising. Ugh. I don't like it. Oh, because this episode's all about hate, so here it comes. There, like they have these advertisements for like Cuellar, David Cuellar, I think it is, and his opponent is this Jessica Garcia, right? And it's about South Texas. And they use this where the narrators have like an accent, which is fine if it didn't scream of like playing to the audience, And they have this one actor and he's like, I voted for him, but no mas. It's like, could you try to be authentic? Like, why does it have to be so blatant, sorry, but not sorry. But I hear it, you know what I mean? I hear that sometimes I'm a little bit of a hater, dude. It's sticking out like a sore thumb today. I feel like it's like a big running theme. I always have fun trying to name these episodes. And I wonder, this one's going to have to do with some sort of, hate is going to be in the title somehow. But my point about voting was that I always look to other societies, other cultures, where people like put their lives in literal danger to try to cast a vote, where they know that the democracy, the aspect of having a voice represented through their vote, is so important that they're willing to risk their lives or in order to cast their vote. And people fighting to try to have a government that that resembles something like a democracy. And I'm reminded of something that sorry, I'm typing. Anyway, Um, if you don't like the system that we live in, if you don't like the people that are in power, even if you don't like the idea of the the choices, well then that certainly means that you need to educate yourself in the system and find a way to change, to have effective change within that dynamic. It's not enough to just to not participate in the process. It reminds me of that line from that Rush song. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. To paraphrase, if you have an issue but choose to let it work itself out, you still have made your choice. Right? It is what it is. I tried to work on this Plato quote, but I couldn't find it, having to do with, he had this idea that if you look out and you don't think that there's a representative leader out there, then you have a moral obligation to be that person yourself, to step into the ring and say, look, I don't see anybody better that can do it better than me. I think I should do it. I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying. And I don't think there's a literal translation where you're having to say that you should be the one, but it's to say that you should research one that could be a good leader. Does that make sense? That you should look out and try to find, there's good people out there wanting to do good that aren't in the pockets of these, that aren't slaves to the game, and that aren't in the pockets of these big lobby companies and stuff, No, I'm not getting into all that. So anyway, I'm voting for those people that fight and risk their lives to have the opportunity to do what most people in this country take for granted. So I'm gonna get out there and vote. I might even spend some time at the voting place and just talk to different people that are representing the parties and ask them what they're standing for. Find out what they believe in. Maybe give them a chance to sell me before I cast my vote. Who knows? Anyway, that's it for today. Oh, I will say, I was thinking about having a segment on the show where I use a random topic generator. I was going to see what you thought about that. Because I wanted to see if the idea was that if it brought up a topic, if I had a story related to it, that might be cool to sort of dig into my mind and find things that, without being ready for it. So it kind of would force me to be a little bit off the cuff, which is always what I'm striving for with this show. But let me know what you think in the comments, and Don't forget to, if you would please, continue to message me at lostlikemike@gmail.com. Leave your comments, of course, on YouTube, and your thumbs up, and share it, and all that kind of good stuff. And appreciate you hanging out as always.